Everyone, if you're watching this, congratulations, you have made it through the summer episode of Gilmore Girls: A Year in a Life. So I've already done reviews on winter and spring, and now it's obviously the summer one, so I will be only talking about winter, spring, and summer. So there will be no fall episode talking this, so keep it non-spoilers for people that have not finished this, please, in the comments. Let's just keep it for winter, spring, summer. I want to say the whole thing. I'll say summer was my least favorite out of all of them. I just felt it very kind of lackluster. I felt like there was a lot of unnecessary scenes in it. So yeah, let's just talk about it. So let's talk about the first thing, what we all really want to talk about. April. We get a glimpse of April. And I know April is like the #1 most hated character on the show. And I didn't like April, but I didn't hate her because she was 13 when the show was on, when she was back in the day. So I'm like, she's 13, but now she's like 22 and she's still just as unlikable as ever. Like, I felt like there could have been so much more with that. She could have made her great. She could have been great, but she wasn't. We learned that she's just MIT going girl, and she's just very, I met all these people, and I'm going this to state, and I'm going to this for pot, and all this stuff, and I'm just like, no, what are you doing? Like, she's trying, and then she has a breakdown with Rory, and she's like, I don't smoke pot, I don't do all these things. I'm like, no, no one still likes you, April. Like, you didn't even try. You didn't even try to make people like you, and you still sucked. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna talk about April, because what's the point? Say, Luke and Lorelai fighting on the couch about what to watch, and they'll fall asleep reminds me a lot of me and my husband, honestly. I just wanted to say that because I found that to be so cute and so very much like my own life. A scene that I wasn't really happy with Luke with, Luke saying that April is probably going to go to Germany, and Lorelai, said you already pitched in for, grad school and all this other stuff, let me help with this. And April's like, April's my kid, I got it. And I was like, hold up, Luke, like, what the crap? Like, so you can be involved in Rory's life a lot, but Lorelai can't be involved in April's life. I don't know why she would want to, but still, I was very just like, it was very hostile of Luke, and I wasn't a fan of that, Luke. I wasn't a fan. So town's meeting, and then we have learning that the Stars Hollow Gazette, which we've all learned about for so many years, is going out of business because the editor is not there anymore. Did he die? I'm not sure. Oh, sorry to say that. But Rory decides that she's going to save the Stars Hollow Gazette, and that's a very odd turn. I didn't think that would ever happen, but it was very interesting to say the least. And all these people are thinking that Rory's back, and she's like, I'm not back. And they're like, you should go with the 30-somethings group. And I'm like, what? Michelle being nice to kids, which is like, I was like, is somebody like drunk or high right now? Because Michelle is never nice to kids, and learned that he has a husband. We did learn that in winter, but I forgot to mention that, which was awesome. And then they have this secret bar scene. So Stars Hollow has this secret bar because they had to hide it from Taylor, and it's just like in this alleyway, and Lane and Zach are playing music very softly, and everyone's just drinking. And then if Taylor comes, everybody yells 5-0, and they have to turn off the lights, pack up the tables, and move to the edges of the alley so Taylor can't see. And Taylor will walk by, and somebody will pass him in a bike to like get him going on, and they'll clear, and they'll just set it right on back up. Like, what was the 5-0? That was amazing. Like, I just was like, oh, that scene was great. Oh, so great. And then we learned that Michelle is leaving the Dragonfly, which was very hard to know. Lorelai she's lost Suki, now she's losing Michelle, and she's just feeling very lost in her life right now. She doesn't know where she's going. She feels like she's almost at a standstill, like everyone else is moving, but she's still there, and something is not right with that. My favorite scenes where Lorelai and Rory have to deliver the newspapers, which I thought was just very cute, especially with the song. I thought that was just a great montage. And then we have the summer musical thing, which is great because it brings back Sutton Foster, which was in Bunheads, and I like that Amy Sherman-Palladino kind of makes everyone come back, and it's just really nice. But I felt like the Stars Hollow musical was a huge waste of time. It was 15 minutes, maybe more, and I felt like it was a waste of time. I felt like there was no need for it. It was very odd. It was definitely Stars Hollow-ish because it was so odd, but it was more odder than usual, and I felt like we spent so much time on it, and I didn't really feel like it was necessary. I was like, this is weird, this is weird, this is odd, this is weird. That's all I kept thinking about, and then, is this necessary? And the answer is no, it was not. So it was just a very odd thing. And then we have Carole King in this, which she's played Sophie for a while, but then she sings her Earth Move Under My Feet song, and I was like, Carole King, I wish she would have sung the Where Did We Lead, I Would follow, but they didn't. I was really sad they didn't do an intro for these at all. It was just kind of, I know it was like a movie, but I still wanted to hear that song a lot, which we didn't really hear at all. We have Jess, and I was very happy to see Jess because Logan's been pissing me off lately, if you didn't know. Him being engaged and him and Rory having an affair, like, what the crap? And then we see Jess, and Jess is always what Rory needs. He had helped Rory when she was out of Yale, and he's like, what are you doing? And Jess was the only one that really kicked her butt into gear, and yet again, Jess is there. And yet again, Jess is there to kick her butt right into gear. He's like, what are you doing? You're in a rut. You need to write a book. You know exactly what to write about. You need to write about you and your mom. And it's like everything clicks in Rory's brain, and she's like, that is right. And it just goes to show, I really hate to admit this, but Jess and Rory are great together, and I think they would be awesome together. And you know, he really helps her out, she really helps him out, they balance very well, and he just really saved her butt, quite honestly. And I'm loving Jess because you know, that's not to say I didn't love Jess. I really didn't like him in season 3 because he was a jerk boyfriend. But then we saw more in different seasons, and I felt the growth, but we didn't see as much growth with him as we did with Logan, because we actually got to see that every episode. Jess was in 1 or 2 episodes, so to see this with Jess, I was very happy with, and I was sad that there wasn't more to accumulate from that in this episode. But I'm happy, very happy, that he kicked Rory's butt into gear once again. He's saving Rory's butt. That's just what he does. And so she starts to write a book about her and her mom, which I think is so great. And I'm like, oh, you gotta call it the Gilmore Girls, obviously. And Emily's with another man, and I was like, what? And even Lorelai and Rory are like, what's going on? And that whole thing's going on, and and then we have Rory telling her mom about writing a book for them, and Lorelai is not happy about that. She does not want her to do that, and they have a huge fight. I'm no stranger to Rory and Lorelai's fight, honestly, but you know, this had to be a fight they had. Lorelai does not want her life being out there. She's been very trying to keep everything, you know, only letting people know what she wants them to know about her, if that makes sense. They have a fight and they kind of walk away and don't talk for a while, which makes me so sad because I'm like, we don't have a lot of time to do this, guys. We gotta keep together. Big Luke and Lorelai fight. He thinks that she's controlled all the decisions. You know, we're gonna live here. We're not gonna have any more kids. We're gonna keep our family separate and all this other stuff. And he's really feeling kind of bitter about that. And I can't blame him because I do feel like Lorelai has controlled a lot of those decisions. But I feel like Luke should have also spoken up as well about those. You can't just have somebody be like, this is how it's gonna be. And you're just like, okay, you gotta have talk. You gotta have conflict. You've gotta have compromise. And I felt like Luke should have said something, and Lorelai, they both should have said something previously. I'm like, why are we having this fight? I hate this. I hate that you're fighting. It is the worst thing ever, but it needs to be said. We have them having a big fight, and then we also have a scene with Rory and Lane, and Rory keeps accidentally calling Logan over and over again, and finally she just says, you know, I don't know why I keep calling you. And he's like, are we breaking up? And she's like, you know, no, we're not breaking up because we weren't really ever anything. And as much as saddens me as it does, because I do love Logan, even though right now I hate him. I'm still at crossroads, guys. But it needs to be done. He is engaged to another woman. He can't just be keeping having an affair with Rory. Rory can't stay in another hotel. And it's just now her realizing that she doesn't need to be with him. Like, it's just, what? Why? What? Oh, this makes me so mad. Break up, apparently. And then we have another scene with the musical, which I did like, and was Sutton Foster singing a song, and it really broke a revolution in Lorelai, and it was all about now or never, which is a big theme in season 6 of Gilmore Girls, which is like, it's you know, now or never, when Lorelai was telling Luke they're either going to get married now or they're never going to get married, and I was like, oh crap. And this is going to happen. They're going to break up, and it's going to be done, and I'm just going to cry my freaking eyes out. But that's not exactly what happened. Lorelai decides that she's going to do the book version of Wild. She's going to go hike the Pacific Crescent, I forget the name, trail, and that's going to be that. She's going to be gone for a few weeks, and she needs to figure some things out, and that is how summer ends. So yeah, a lot happened in summer. I will say it's my least favorite of all the seasons. I just felt like the musical really I didn't enjoy, and the fact that there were so many confrontations in this freaking episode, like Rory and Lorelai get into it. Rory and Logan came out of Crossroads and broke up, which is a good thing, obviously. And obviously the Luke and Lorelai thing. It was just very, very sad, but I feel like this all needed to happen for the epic finale of Fall, which I cannot wait to talk about. It's gonna be my longest video ever, probably. But I didn't feel like summer was amazing. Honestly, maybe people disagree with me, and that's totally okay, but I felt like it could have been a lot more, but it just wasn't. I just didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I think the musical really set that under for me. I felt like we wasted a lot of time on that musical. And, you know, we have so many things still in the questions, like Rory, what is Rory going to do? Her love life's still a mess. Her career is really still not going that great. Lorelai's still, you know, Michelle, Suki's not there. The Dragonfly's not going so great. She's realizing that her and Luke aren't working out. We have Emily moving on with another man and her having which also, let's just talk about the fact that Emily has a stay maid for a whole year and that her family pretty much lives in her house and she's okay with it. Like, that's just so random about that. It's such different for Emily, but I love that because she's changing and becoming a little bit more warm and stuff. But yeah, it's getting crazy, guys. So if you've watched Summer, please let me know down in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it your favorite, least favorite? Let me know. Did you not like that musical as much as I did, or did you like it? It's totally okay if you did. I just would like to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And now I'm going off to film my last one, Fall. So I will see you then. Bye.